Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to make a start. I'm going to make sure the Q&A is ready for later. Maybe Mr. Cole will help me do that by turning it off. He's done that already. So that will be back on ready later on for you to ask me any questions that you have. I'm going to share some slides on my screen so you can see my agenda, and then we will get started. So I'm hoping we've got an agenda up. I think we do. So kind of very few things to talk about today, but all very important. So I'm going to go through them nice and quickly and then anticipate questions coming later. So I'll quickly talk about key dates, want to talk about future meetings, a quick COVID update, some information about clubs, current affairs, curriculum and assessment, and then something called summer camp, which I'm very excited about. So in terms of dates, here we are. Wednesday at the top of the screen. We've got a week and a half now till the half-term holiday. So school tomorrow and Friday, no school, remember, on Monday. That's a training day where we're going to be doing lots of work about year 11 and year 13's grades with teachers in school. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at school next week, and then we've got the half-term holiday, the week beginning the 31st of May. A reminder as well that there's no school on Monday the 7th of June. Children will be coming back on the 8th of June. The next half term is 6 weeks long for children. I've shown you the first 4 weeks here. In many ways, they're the most important 4 weeks. What you can see in the yellow boxes is in the 14th of June, we start end of year exams. Year 10 and year 12 start in the week beginning the 14th of June. Years 7, 8 and 9 begin in the week beginning the 21st of June. We'll make sure children have really clear timetables and they know exactly when to expect the exams that are coming their way. They're going to be set plenty of homework to do over the half-term holiday, which will help them revise for those assessments as well. And at the end of the half-term, we're going to make sure we have an opportunity to report back grades to parents, and that we have some form of parent consultation and discussion about those grades before the summer holidays too. In terms of future meetings, these meetings we're going to continue with bi-weekly, so not every week moving forwards. Our next meeting will be Wednesday the 9th of June, which will be the first week back, and then we'll go into a version of this every 2 weeks. I want to talk something new, which is the parent consultation group. This is something that I'll formally launch when I write to all parents on Monday. It's an opportunity to be part of a group of parents who meet with me regularly, ideally in person in the future, and get to contribute directly to the planning of the school. They would be a group of parents that I could bring plans to. This is what I think we're going to do about X or Y or Z, to get feedback from them on those plans, but also a group of parents who could be telling me, here are the things that are on parents' minds at the moment, and asking me to make a plan about X, Y, and Z. I would really like as many parents as possible to put themselves forward to be part of that group. I really value parents' input, and so when I write to you on Monday, please take a look at that information and sign up if you can. 2 or 3 parents have been in touch about wanting to join the local governing body. I definitely want to have a parent governor as part of the local governing body. We already do have one parent who is a governor, but they're not necessarily a parent governor, and that means there is one vacancy, and applications for that will open in June. So that's the future. A quick COVID update. We had a reason today to test all of the children in 1 year 7 class, because one pupil who'd been at home recently, hadn't been into school for a few days, but had been experiencing symptoms, and to be extra cautious, we chose to test the entire class. They all came back negative, but it's a really useful reminder that we need to be using the test at home kits at home and reporting our results really carefully. In terms of safety measures around COVID, we're continuing as we are for now, up until the half-term holiday, and then we will review where things stand beyond that. Quick note on clubs. It's been excellent to see clubs getting up and running, children taking part in sport and music after school. The calendar, I shared it with you when I wrote to you on Monday. The children are familiar with it. There's an online form in which pupils can sign up to say they wish to attend. They must sign up in advance. It's really, really important. And also, please do remind them to tell you, parents, that they are going to a club, because I know some parents have been worried that their child hadn't come home when they're expecting them, and it's because they've gone to a club. So it's really, the onus is on the children, making sure they're telling their parents what's going on. But please do encourage children to sign up to clubs. They've made a really good start. It's been really enjoyable seeing children having fun after school. Want to talk about current affairs? I did an assembly today with children in years 7, 8 and 9, and some year 11 children got to see it today early as well. And I'll be speaking to the rest of the school tomorrow. We've been talking about the events in Israel and Palestine. I think it's really important that we are talking about that in school, because I'm very worried that online, on social media, children have been exposed to a lot of anti-Semitism and to lots of hatred, and I want to make sure that we are supporting children to express any feelings they have about the situation positively and proactively. The children have asked us for an opportunity to do something as a school to recognise the events that are taking place, and what I've suggested to the children who've asked if they could do some fundraising and so forth is that we will do some fundraising, and we'll use the same mechanism that we did last half term with a non-uniform day on the last day of the half term, and the proceeds could go to a charity such as Save the Children or Islamic Relief, and we'll be talking more to the children about that in the next few days. Curriculum and assessments, there's a lot going on. So as I said, after the half-term holiday, we've got lots of assessments happening for years 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12. We're coming to the end of the centre assessed grades process for year 11 and year 13. And we're remembering that those children won't be returning fully to school after half-term, but will be expected to attend meetings, maybe some more assessments for some children in June, as they must remain available and contactable and pretty flexible around their time as we finalise the process around their grades. A note around year 9, children were spoken to about this earlier in the week, useful kind of just to make it clear to parents. A change in year 9, where currently we have 5 classes in year 9, we're going to increase the number of classes to 6. I'm really pleased we're able to do that. It means that we'll be able to reduce the class sizes in that year group, match it more up so it's more similar to the other classes in the school, and that will start after the half-term holiday in June. And we are also working with year 9 children around their GCSE preferences and finalising those decisions with them, and again that will start to kick into gear just after the half-term holiday. Finally, summer camp. So nationally, the government is funding all schools to run some form of summer activities for children in the holidays. We will run some form of summer activities in the week beginning the 9th of August. Very likely that we'll be able to offer something for most children to take part in if they wish to. And when I write you on Monday, there'll be an opportunity to, again, register your interest in your child taking part in summer camp, if that's something that you would like for them to do. We'll be particularly keen to speak to parents of children who we know are struggling with their English and maths, where we want to be able to provide them with some extra supported intervention during the summer, so they're ready to start the next academic year strongly. Okay, that was a short set of notes from me, and I will stop sharing my screen so that I think it's going to be quiet. Here we go. Stop sharing my screen and give anybody any opportunities that they wish to type some questions into the question box, and I will do my best to answer them as well as possible. Going to give you a few seconds to do that. I'm going to remind myself how I see the questions. Here I go. I press up here. Great. We'll give you a minute to type any questions as you wish. Okay, we've got a question. Let me get to the screen and then I'll be able to see them. When will year 9 be able to be told which choices they've got? It's a good question. So they had an assembly essay with Mr. Cole. We spoke about this a little bit then. in the first week, the second week back after the half-term holiday, we will be clear with Year 9 exactly what they're going to find out when. Because for some children it's going to be a very easy conversation, here's some information, off you go, yes, these are the subjects you're going to be doing. For others we might have to have a few more discussions, so it won't be before the half-term holidays, and the most important thing now for Year 9 children to be doing is to focus about their exams. What about science for triple science? So the key thing there, as we explained, is that in our science lessons we're going to be learning the combined science course through GCSE, but children can choose to put themselves forward to do the triple science qualification in addition to that, and there'll be a process by which children can put their name down to do that, which we will share with them at a later date. Do we have to do a language? Lots of Year 9 questions today. No, we don't have to do a language. Like I said, I really encourage it. I think universities, businesses, employers always think it's very exciting when people have got GCSE and A-level languages to go with whatever other qualifications they do, but no one has to do a language, no. What are the new sets based on? I feel like Mr. Cole's assembly, I could have repeated it today. So what are the new sets based on? So we've got to talk carefully about this, because there's two types of new sets. After half term, we're moving from 5 sets into 6 classes, and that's just going to make the classes smaller. So in many ways, that's not really based on any new information. That's just about, we want to make the classes smaller. We're moving to new classrooms. We're going to move into the classrooms that Year 11 have been in, so we can all have the year group together. So that's really straightforward. Then next half term, you're going to do lots of assessments that we've spoken about. And then we'll start thinking about how we put children into the right classes. There'll be 2 things that we're thinking about. One is which children are going to be attempting to do higher tier maths when they come to their maths GCSEs. And the other thing we're thinking about is how and where can we group children together so that they're doing the same optional subjects as well. So if lots and lots of children all want to do history, it might make sense for all those children to be in the same class together, these sorts of things. Okay, let's keep going. What's coming next? I need to see what's happening on my screen. Oh, I see. I just need to scroll. There we are. My fault. Which board will, somebody asked this question before, it's a really good question about which exam boards we'll be using for GCSEs. That is something I want to put to you in writing as soon as possible. And as we start talking to Year 9s about when their exams will be this year, that's something we'll get in writing for you, so you have them all written down. If you've got siblings or older brothers and sisters already in years 10 and 11, what I can tell you is almost all subjects, they're not changing, but we'll get something written down for you as soon as possible. Good question, thank you. Just going to scroll. Robotics Club, I'm going to look at Mr. Cole and see if Mr. Cole knows. He's smiling, he's nodding, he doesn't know, he's not sure. We will find out about Robotics Club and we will make that public. I know it is on the list of things that's happening. No one in this room with me right now can give you the answer, so I don't want to guess. The best person to speak to is Mr. Singh. If you see Mr. Singh around the school, or if you see Mr. Galanders around the school, they're going to be the people with the knowledge, so ask them. Good question though. Will there be 6 classes in year 10? Year 9, you're dominating, my friends. Yes, there will be 6 classes in year 10 and in year 11. It's going to be the way forward for the next, till you finish your GCSEs. I think this might be the last question. I'm going to make sure I can see it. Fusion online app. If I've already signed up, do I need to do it again? No, thank you. If you did it the first time the letters went round, very, very grateful to you. No need to sign up again. It'll be exactly the same. The letters were reissued this week, just to make sure that everybody had their letter and everybody had their information. So thank you for getting signed up. There's going to be an opportunity coming soon to practice using it, just so then when we know every parent's signed up to that, every parent signed up for the payment system, then we can start practicing with different ways of running lunch. Good question. Here we go, we've got a couple more questions. Are there rules for the non-uniform next Friday? There are definitely rules for the non-uniform next Friday. What I said today when speaking to children was, when we did a non-uniform day last half term, it was the first time that anyone could remember St Albans ever doing a non-uniform day. And so we were a bit nervous about it. We didn't know how it was going to go. The children did a brilliant job. their behaviour was of a good standard like normal. Mr. Cole had explained to them really carefully what was and what wasn't allowed to be worn, and they followed those instructions really carefully. They got it 100% right. And so the deal for me on non-uniform days is, if you get it right and we give you the instructions about what's allowed and what's not allowed, then we'll trust you and we'll have more of them. That's got to always be the deal. So that's exactly how it's going to work. I imagine in your form times early next week, Mr. Cole will get the same list out of the things that we expect from you, and we'll go through it then. I can see one more question maybe coming through, so I'll give it just a minute. Yeah, it's there. Mr. Cole says I just need to scroll down. How do you apply for the summer camp? There'll be a link to a Microsoft form in the letter that I send to parents on Monday. So when you get the letter on Monday, read through that. There'll be a link there and you can sign up straight away. How much you bring for non-uniform day, we haven't decided yet. It will be a small amount as a minimum, just as we did last time. We will definitely put that in my parent letter to parents on Monday, so there's a lot to look out for on Monday, but we'll speak to the children this week about it too. Okay, we've hit 0 on questions, and I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for joining, and we will speak to you at a parent event like this, not next Wednesday. We will speak again on Wednesday, the 7th of June, just after the half-term holiday. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye-bye.